YouTube, it is I, Sir Karma, coming a little more 1v1 action on Total Brohammer here. I myself, men of Avalon with Illyrio the Radiant against Ama Head Mantis as the Beastmen. Yes. We're going to see... Oh, no, more work emails. Oh, well. Who needs work when you have YouTube, right? You guys are my true... I mean, I don't get paid, but I get paid in love and people telling me to commit suicide. My favorite types of currency. So we have the Beastmen over here. Goreherds, some Chaos Spawn. Interesting pick with the Chaos Spawn. Not really sure what my opponent was thinking to do with them. I don't really know where they come in this batch, but I mean they are unbreakable. They are good, I guess, for that respect. They are good in that they will not run, whereas many other Beastmen units will. Especially against some terrifying units on the terror-causing units rather on the high elves like dragons. If I had brought a dragon, so maybe that was the thinking. They do good damage, just not very great armor piercing. I didn't know they did poison. Interesting. Didn't know they applied poison, so that's not bad. So you have a permanent unit that applies poison in the front line. That's not terrible, actually. Of course, not the best melee stats and not a lot of armor. Over here we got some spearmen. We've got Kazar the One Eye. We've got a Gorbel. We've got a Brave Shaman of Beasts with Flock of Doom. That looks like the Curse of Honor here, I believe. That is the Curse of Honor here, and Pan's Impenetrable Bell. That's one of those words I can't pronounce. More work emails. On the right flank here, Centaur's throwing axes, and then on the other flank, we've got some hidden Centaur's throwing axes and just regular Centaurs with no armor piercing, and then some more Goreherds. So, really, spread out force. I guess the idea of trying to be overwhelm me. Elves rather prefer to play it high and tight. So what did I bring? I brought the Heralds of the Wind, who for the first match that I've ever brought them, they actually perform well. I think they're good in this matchup because they have that 105 speed, the fastest, I think, land-based unit in the game. Their stats are super high at 38, 43, 27 weapon strength isn't the best, but of course, Beastmen don't have a crazy amount of health, nor do they have a lot of armor, so that's not bad at all. Their missile damage isn't terrible either, and their range is quite high. So yeah, I like bringing them. They can outrun most, they can outrun all Centaurs, whereas other Centaurs can easily catch these guys at 90 versus 95. Then of course I have the Dragonborn because they're just the Fireborn rather, just a very, very good unit in this matchup. Not a lot that the Beastmen can bring to counter that. I have some Silver Helms, some Spearmen here, some Dryads who are Silver Chevron, because I had like 300 spend, and when you're 300 spend as a high health player, what do? Because their cheapest unit are these guys at 500, so I wasn't even close to being able to afford them. I brought one unit of Treekin just to hold the line, because my line's pretty flimsy otherwise with your Spearmen and Dryads. Another unit of Silver Helms, and then Illyrio the Radiant. And what did I bring with her? I want to say Banishment. I didn't even bring Banishment, but I don't think I'll be using it. Earthblood, Arcane Conduit, obviously, Star of Avalon, and Faz Protection. So a pretty standard kit. I think that the key with her is you want to be casting as many spells as possible throughout the game, so you can pop the Shield of Sapphire and Life Bloom. Both of those are very, very good passives to have going on your army, so yeah, you want to be casting spells all the time with her. And with that, let's get the battle started. So right off the start, we're going to get some shots off. I'm going to put these guys off fire at will, just so I can start killing these dudes. They're not doing the best shots. They're kind of missing here. I guess they're not the most accurate. I don't know. But we have yet to get a kill, which is not good. These guys are going to come in here, so I'm going to push my Dryads to face them. They'll probably do well against them. Also get a nice charge in. You see good damage on there. He's going to try and bring these Centaur's throwing axes in. That's fine with me. I have my Eagle over here, sort of warding them off. Meanwhile, he's going to bring his Centaurs in here against my Silver Helms, but I think it's a bad idea. Of course, these guys do not have armor piercing, and these guys do have about 90 armor, I want to say. They do, but he does pull them back, a smart move, and then I'm going to see that. I'm going to pull these guys back, so I don't want to get drawn into that flank. Over here, the Dryads are doing some good damage to these Goreherds, and we are going to chase off these two units of Centaurs. The front lines, meanwhile, have engaged. We've brought the Treekin in here. They're going to do well against these Goreherds. I'm going to send the Spearmen against these Spearmen and try and get some damage on this Chaos Spawn. The Gorbel should be over here fighting these Treekin, but he's going to do well wherever he is. There's not a lot on my faction that can deal with them. These Dryads are going to get a nice charge on these Goreherds and just put them down. He's going to get a nice Flock of Doom in this side. Or he's going to cast something else. I don't know what he's casting here. Curse of Anne here. So lowering melee attacks. So that's interesting. And then over here did a Flock of Doom, which isn't the best spot for it. Meanwhile, we have cut out his Centaurs, so we're getting a lot of kills on here. We're going to heal everything on this little flank, or sorry, this ball, while also popping our Shield of Sapphire and giving everything a little bit of a buff for a few seconds. So we're going to get rid of these guys. Although I thought they were fleeing, but they weren't quite. But we are going to win that fight. That's good for us. The Heralds of the Wind are no joke. We are trying to chase down his Centaurs, but they are really fast, and unfortunately we're in a bad place here. They were able to draw us around. I'm getting some charges in with my Silver Helms, but just, they're getting caught out, and they're going to take some damage from this Gorbel. These Fireborn, meanwhile, are going to come right in here and just crazy damage on these gore herds. We do catch his Centaurs over here, and we're doing good damage, but he's getting flanking shots with these throwing axes. He's going to get a nice charge in there, but I do see that, so I'm going to charge in with my Fireborn. Over here, meanwhile, we're still trying to clean up these Centaurs. I want the mobility advantage. I was already willing to sacrifice the front lines so long as I get the mobility advantage. He's going to cast Flock of Doom there, good little spell. They've broken the right flank. However, we are fighting now his Centaurs with the Fireborn. We are losing Silverhelms, but, you know, whatever. I mean, not whatever. They're actually a very important unit to my army, but what can you do? He's going to come in here and try and chase them down, I think, which is a good move. I should have turned these guys right around, but I saw that the Gorbel was isolated, and obviously they're anti-large, so this is going to be a good fight for them. If they get a good surround on him, which they are, you can see his health just begin to plummet. He doesn't have that much health to begin with. Actually, he does have quite a bit of health for a large single entity model, but yeah, he's already down almost 1,000 health, and we've only been fighting for a few seconds. Of course, I don't want to get mixed in there too long, but as much damage as I can get on that Gorbel, he cannot heal. You know, I've also cut out his Brave Shaman over here, so we're doing some single entity hunting. The middle is falling. The Treekin are doing their job, which is to hold. As long as they can hold, that's good, looking good for us. We did a lot of damage to that Gorbel, and now we have these Dryads coming in here to try and take down some of these Spearmen, which is a good battle for us. And then we're getting these guys to waste their throwing axes on these Dryads, which, again, also not a bad play for us. So these Dryads are going to do well against these Spearmen. Of course, they will lose to the Gorbel, but there's nothing against that. There's nothing you can do about that, rather. The Chaos Spawn mixed with this infantry have put down these Treekin. Meanwhile, these Gore Herd are doing well. They're killing some Spearmen. Again, it's sort of... I would say going according to plan as our army, you know, falls away to the Beastmen Horde, but it's not, it's not the end of the world, because we do have a lot of our important units left. We have this Heralds of the Wind. We have the Illyrian Reavers. The Shaman of Beast, rather, is dead. And we do have a quite healthy Fireborn, who I'm going to boost up with some heals. Of course, they're getting thrown axes into them. That's not good for us, so I want to try and ward them off. I'd rather them shoot Alarielle, because she's easier to heal, and I want to keep models alive. We're going to get a nice charge on these guys. They're going to charge into these Silverhelms. Interesting. But yeah, we did get a catch on them. We are going to get a nice surround on these Centaurs. I think they charge to try and hold us while these Chaos Spawn get in. Of course, they don't have the greatest melee stats or armor piercing, so they're not going to do the best against Fireborn, but they'll do okay. And it's definitely a good trade. Over here, we have Alarielle just doing some damage where she can. Kazrak's trying to get him. He's got his sword held high. You know, he's got a thirst for Alarielle, but she's gonna just fly away and leave him forever thirsty. And he's gonna have to stick over there and just watch her fly. Gorge including some Spearmen on the flank here. We've got some idle Chaos Spawn. What can you do? These Spearmen are getting into our Heralds of the Wind, which is not good. I'm trying to pull them away, but they're being poisoned, of course, by these Chaos Spawn. And they're going to try and run out, but I'm going to get a nice rear charge from these Illyrian Reaver archers just to help protect the Heralds of the Wind and do some damage on the Ungor Spearmen. Meanwhile, over here, we've caught these guys, and they are fighting Dryads and Illyrian Radiant. It's a very good matchup for us. We do have some Dryads over here. We're going to get into these Ungor Spearmen. That's they're going to feast on them. They do kill pretty quickly, and these guys don't have any armor, so it's good news for us. They're going to chase off these Treemen with these Ungor Herd. That's not a bad move at all. We have a fleeing unit of Silverhelms, so one of them is out of the game. I think the other one died a while ago, so no more Silverhelms. But we do have a quite healthy unit of Fireborn. We have Alarielle, who is going to come and try and finish off this Brave Shaman, although he just started fleeing, which is actually good for him, because if he had just stood there, he would have been charged and probably died. But he's going to flee, and I don't want to keep her too long out of this battle. My opponent, meanwhile, is kind of all spread out, and we were able to isolate these Chaos Spawn, and of course, the Fireborn are going to take them in no time flat. So they are done. Kazrak is chasing these Dryads alongside the Gorbel and what remains of the Centaur contingent, these two units of Centaurs with throwing axes, alongside some spears. So not a bad little army to deal with us. There are some Chaos Spawn on the right flank. Of course, these bows will be able to take them down quite easily because they almost have no armor. I think, like we said, 10. So they're going to shoot eventually, maybe not, no. Because if you have them on, thing is, if you take them off fire at will, I find that fire just, they almost never fire. So you have to be very, very careful with them. We do so you get one volley and just did, killed one unit, did a lot of damage to the other two, or several other units rather. Over here chasing off some of my units, but that's it. They're going to wipe them out. So these Dryads are going to get murdered, but they'll do some damage in return. I don't mind that. Those aren't the best units to fight them with. If you send the Gorbel in, that would have been just free kills, because they would not be able to do anything against the Gorbel. So they're going to bring the Chaos Spawn a little too early. They should have kept them with their squad. And you can see that charge is devastating, and they're going to die quite quickly. Of course, they are going to hold forever, and they're going to poison. Maybe my opponent was trying to... Oh, he's chasing these guys off, but I'm going to get a nice charge in here with Alarielle. Unfortunately, the Gorbel's right there, so that's a little scary. So I have to charge these guys away. Even though there's still one unit of Chaos Spawn I would like to kill, we're going to have to charge in here and get a nice charge on these Centaurs, and then I'm going to start healing them. So as they fight as they're in this fight, they're going to be healed and buffed. That's the first one of 2, so I have another one I have in my back pocket if I need. But that was just a good little move to help them be more sustainable. I'll get a nice recharge into the Centaurs, get rid of them. These gores are trying to get us around on us, and I see that, so I'm just like, okay, pull out. Time to get out of here. If I need to, I can leave the Lyran Reaver Archers just to cover our retreat, because they're the least important unit that I have remaining on my roster. I have some Dryads that I will reactivate in a little bit. My opponent has some Goreherds way in the corner that he left on his own. So yeah, so the balance bar is pretty much dead even still, even this late in the battle. It's been back and forth really, but it hasn't really moved much beyond the swords. But of course, you can look at the composition of the armies. Mine's all mobile, his is all it's more static. And usually that spells doom for the static player. He has no way to catch my Lyran Reaver Archers, and there's not a whole lot he can do in terms of anti-large other than this Gorbel, and of course we also have anti-large, and we have a very dangerous Alarielle, who is no slouch in melee. As we've talked about on multiple occasions, she's quite a good melee lord. So we're going to get a nice little charge here, hit them on the flank. You see these guys are already trying to rout. He gets a nice charge on my Fireborn. I should have done a counter charge. He gets a nice kill. Look at him, 2 kills, wow, in that 1 charge, so good for him. But we are going to get a nice surround. Hopefully, again, trying to crush some leadership here. Alario's going to come in here and do some damage on the Gorbel, but he's going to give it right back, way better than he got. I have to heal her right away. If she goes down, that could be it. You can see every hit she gets is moving the balance bar more in his favor. But the Gorbel's almost dead, but he gets another hit, so I'm like, okay, pull away. Time to cut our losses here. The good thing is that while she was taking those hits, the Fireborn were not, and the Fireborn are a more deadly unit than Alarielle. She's not bad, but of course she's no Dragon Prince with anti-large, so they're going to do some good damage here. He's almost dead. I'm waiting just to try and get rid of him. Morgar is not in a fight he wants to be in because he does take more damage from fire, I believe, because he does have regeneration. Let's double check that. Let's see, Morgar. Oh, sorry, that's Kazrak. What am I saying? Why do I keep calling him Morgar? That's Kazrak, rather. So they wore that funky hair. Oh no, Kazrak does not have funky hair. I lied. I lied to you guys. YouTube, I apologize. Yeah, no, that's just Kazrak, so that's why he has no difference for fire. He has no care for fire. So he is a good little combat. He does not do armor piercing, but he's got 588 damage. A good chunk of that I assume is armor piercing. 490 now. He's probably just buffed by something. 170. So he'll do good damage to these Fireborn, just not the greatest. But you can see we've cleaned up all his infantry. Alarielle is damaged, but the Gorbel he's not coming back. There's no way he makes it back. We're gonna run him down. Either off the field or murdered. I don't remember. How much health does he have left? 48. So there he goes. He drops his axe, and the Gorbel has fallen to the Dragon Prince. And you can see over here on the ridge, we've got some shooting going on, some Alarielle Reaver charging, and the Fireborn. Let's just follow them on this glorious uphill charge as these guys come and just start punting them out of nowhere. You see there's the Heralds of the Wind doing their charge as well. And as these guys are just getting up, they had just been punted. They're going to get punted again. Oh my god, just getting thrown every which way. And that's going to be pretty much it for that unit. They're not going to be able to sustain that many charges. Over here, Alarielle's cleaning up some units. I don't want her to be in a fight. My opponent, meanwhile, does have a couple of infantry units over there. But I have some Dryads too. We're reactivating them. It's going to take them a while to get back over here. But at this point, it's just going to be a cycle charge mania. So we're just going to, come around and pick apart these Gorth with shields with our better units. These guys are over here. And the problem with, another thing to note before this game ends, actually, we'll just keep it going. I just want to show Alarielle gets a good hit in there at some point. I want to notice that. So she pops the heal, she gets in there, and massive hit on Kazrak. Very, very good melee lord, Alarielle is, especially on that eagle. But the problem with having these units is that they're so isolated, I can just charge them and get rid of them. And I even brought this Dryads in here to fight Kazrak and tie him up while I just deal with this infantry, putting the balance bar more in our favor. We get a full surround. We're going to get one more charge in with some Fireborn, keep everything there, full surround, damage, and that'll be it for Kazrak. So murder, she wrote, for Kazrak. Yeah, so a fun battle. Pretty close. A little back and forth there between myself and the Beastmen against Ama Head Mantis. Ooh, the Head Mantis, not the Apprentice Mantis. 172 killed in the Fireborn, very, very good. You expect that from them. My Silver Helms did not get the best. I did not get the best out of them. They were just too busy chasing Centaurs. That wasn't the best move for them. I should have had them just cycle charging the front line. But I wanted to get rid of the Centaurs so I can get the mobility advantage. That was critical to me. Because I knew I would lose the front line, especially with those Chaos Spawns in there. They're going to do pretty well against Dryads, although their armor piercing isn't great. But yeah, they're going to do well against Dryads, and of course, the Goreherds are not a bad unit at all, so they'll trade okay with Dryads. Spearmen probably will do really well against Chaos Spawn, but of course they are mucked in with their infantry. So yeah, I just wanted to kill the Centaurs to get the mobility advantage, because once you have the mobility advantage, you have that's pretty much 9/10 of the game. There are battles you can lose while having the mobility advantage, obviously, but late game, being mobile or having still skirmish left and stuff like that can just be devastating for your opponent. There's not a whole lot they can do to counter that. And we got some good kills on these Heralds of the Wind, as well as the Leader of Archers. So yeah, good overall. Even my Drives did quite well. Spearmen, didn't perform the best. 405 kills to be expected. A lot of that's on Spearmen, I assume, but no chevrons for any of his units, so they weren't killing anything super expensive or good. British 55, yeah, their leadership core is quite dangerous. But other than that, GG to my opponent. Hope you guys enjoyed the battle. Oh, total burp hammer there. And we'll be signing off. I'll see you around the bend.